I will talk about the attainment process. Before starting, I'm giving a general statement. These attainment processes may vary from college to college. I am giving a model which I have adopted for my own college, but it may vary from college to college. So I'm starting this smart, and my MBA friends know the smarts very well. So describe करेगा smart को? Anybody of you? Yes, please.
So we use it in goal setting.
Yes.
Actually,
A goal is smart, which is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. Such goals are named as SMART goals. Can you correlate this term SMART as a OB model, outcome-based education model? Can you find any similarity between SMART and OBE education model?
so outcome is equivalent to our goals.
Yes, but that is SMART or not?
It has to be.
It has to be. But in my question is specific. OBE is a SMART goal or not?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Why?
Exactly, sir.
Because specific, because our course outcomes, our program outcomes, our program specific outcomes, our PEOs, our missions, they are specific statements, measurables. So measurable for measurable and attainable, we'll discuss today. How we can find the attainment of our course outcomes, how we can find the attainment of our program outcomes, PEOs and missions, and naturally realistic and time bound. Yes, if we talk about the course outcomes, there is duration of a semester time. If we talk about the program outcomes, then the duration is duration of that program. And if I talk about the program educational objectives, then the duration is the duration of the program plus 2-3 more years. So everything is time bounded. And my management friends know if a goal is SMART, then that can be easily achievable. So this is the beauty of outcome-based education model. Outcome-based education model can be achieved if we go by it in a true spirit. So my own thinking is OB is not for the NBA or NEC accreditation. OB is system specific to make our systems more transparent, more effective, so that the student learning can be increased, our students can become more employable, our organizations are answerable to basically society. So yesterday also I started with this OB framework. Outcomes, vision, missions, program outcomes, course outcomes. This we already have discussed. Dr. Ankit Bansal and one more resource persons put the light on these outcomes. Teaching learning systems, we are getting the regular sessions on these teaching learning systems. About assessments, yesterday I talked about, even evaluation. So today I will talk about the attainments. To complete this third part, just a minute. To complete this third part, so that we can move to the improvement part. So this OBE model seems very complex. If we look, there are a lot of works to do in this OBE model. We are talking about course outcomes, program outcomes, PEOs, missions, then teaching learning processes, then assessments, then evaluations. So systems, these OBE models seems very complex, but it's not actually so. So I am taking one administrative part of this OBE model, that is for the course delivery and course assessment. and attainments. So I'm proposing this 6-level administrative system. Again, this is not, this system will be applicable in all the colleges. It may vary its form. In some colleges, it may be fitted as it is, and in some colleges, there may be some iterations are required. So the different levels are the course coordinators, module coordinators, program coordinators, program assessment committee, departmental advisory board, internal quality assurance cell. So we will go one by one with this, and then we will talk about the assessments and attainments. So the course coordinator. So I want help from the audience side. Can anybody tell me what should be the role of a course coordinator? Because the name specifies its roles itself. What is the course coordinator and what should be the role of this course coordinator? We have many friends from the south, and it's my belief in many colleges this OBE model already exists. So what is a course coordinator? Anybody of you?
So somebody who coordinates the activities at the departmental level, the smooth running of day-to-day lectures being scheduled.
No, Dr. Chali, day, I think one day before you have you have the doubt about the course and the
Correct.
program.
Yes.
We should have a clear about the program and vision. Program is basically your course. जिसे हम course कहते हैं. Like MBA is a program, and the course are basically the subjects.
All right.
Okay. So let me do it. This course coordinator is basically a person who manage the similar one course which is taught in the different classes. For example, there is a course of mathematics which is taught to the 5 different sections. So we need one person who will coordinate for that particular course. Why so? So that the quality and the consistencies in the instructions in all the 4 courses, all the 4 or 5 classes will remain same. Their assessments plan will remain same. Their academic plans will remain same. And this course coordinator, what will do? They will schedule regular meetings with the faculty and provide the resources to support their teaching learning in the course they coordinate. I hope now the concept of course coordinator is clear to all of you.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Okay. The next level is module coordinator. We are basically what we are doing, we are dividing the works to the different persons. We are increasing the involvement of the faculty members in this OBE model. See, this module coordinator is basically what we will do. We will pick the similar type of the subjects and put them in a buckets. And there will be one coordinator for each bucket. And that coordinator is named as module coordinator. So for here, I can take the example of let's suppose we take the example of a CSC. If I take a category of courses which are dealing with the programming, we can put them in a one bucket. And there can be one senior most person who are dealing with this programming like subjects, that will be the module coordinator of that bucket. There are certain subjects which are deals with the computational techniques in the computer science, that there can be one module coordinator for that. There are certain subjects which relate to the emerging technologies like IoTs, AI. So there can be one person who will coordinate as a module coordinator for those type of the courses. So the curriculum of program can be decomposed, already I have discussed. So there is one more duty to this module coordinator, what we want from this module coordinator. This module coordinator will help us to find the attainment levels of the POs based on the COs or the course of the same category. Okay. Then it the module coordinator also guide the course coordinator in defining the course outcomes if these course outcomes are not already defined by the university, or if there is some iteration or something, some changes are required, then this module coordinator will help the course coordinator. This module coordinator will also contribute to the PAC. PAC's program advisory committee will discuss after 2 slides. And this contribute to PAC also. Now the program coordinator. Now our head of department is about a program coordinator. Or head of department can appoint one person on his or her behalf as a program coordinator. So the program coordinator plays an important academic leadership role that is critical to the program's sustainability and the students' success. Now, this program coordinator will help in attainment of all the POs, to guide the module coordinators, to contribute the PAC, Program Advisory Committee. So till now, we have assigned the 3 duties to the different faculty members. Our few faculty members will act as course coordinator, few will act as module coordinator, and our HOD or a person appointed by HOD will act as a program coordinator. Okay. Then the role comes of program assessment committee. Before doing this, any doubt till now? Any questions? Any doubt till now? Is it okay?
So module coordinator, if you could very quickly, explain once again, sir.
Module coordinator is basically the person who will coordinate the similar type of subjects in a program.
All right.
Okay. So if I take the management example, if there is 5 subjects which are relating to marketing, then the one coordinator will take care of all those 5 programs which are related to the marketing.
Yes.
Okay. So now this is a very crucial committee, the program assessment committee, which play crucial role in the finding the attainment levels of the program outcomes. So the chairman of this committee, a chairperson of this committee will be the program coordinator. Another members will be the module coordinator. We are taking the representatives from the department. Then the training placement coordinator of the departmental level, not of the educational level. Like in our case, in our college, we have a TPCs. So TPC will be the part of this committee. Of this committee. Why these 3 members are added in this particular committee? Because when we find the attainment level of our program outcomes, then the training placement, IIIC activities, and the extra curricular or co-curricular activities will also be counted. That's why we added these persons here, so that we can take the feedback and their suggestions from them also regularly. Now, what is the role of this committee? To draft and revise the surveys, to conduct and analyze the results of the above mentioned surveys, CO surveys, to assess the achievements of the attainment of the PEOs, to submit a report on the evaluation and attainment of the PEOs to the departmental advisory board. ठीक है, अब तक जितनी कमेटीज बनी है हमारी, वो सारी किसकी थी? विद इन द डिपार्टमेंट. If we talk about course coordinator, if we talk about module coordinator, if we talk about the program coordinator, if we talk about the program assessment committee, in all these committees, all the members are from the department only. Now we are taking the suggestions and comments from the senior persons of the college and from the stakeholders also. Now the departmental advisory board will come. Head of department, Dean Academics of the institute, If Dean Academics is not present, then the director of that institute, program coordinators. Now हमने course coordinator यहाँ से हटा लिए, हमने module coordinator यहाँ से हटा लिए. Now we are taking the smaller role. Then the representatives of the students, representative of the parents, representatives of the alumni, and representative of the industry. Because we are talking about the outcome-based education model, we have to take the feedbacks and suggestions from the all stakeholders of the department or the institute. Now, what are the roles and responsibilities? Establish the program-specific outcomes based on the vision and missions. First thing, तो अब ये क्लियर हो गया कि प्रोग्राम स्पेसिफिक आउटकम कौन डिफाइन करेगा. अब तक हम लोगों ने बार बार बोला है कि प्रोग्राम स्पेसिफिक आउटकम, but who will define? This departmental advisory committee will define the program specific outcomes. They will formulate the guidelines to attain the POs. हमने स्टार्टिंग बोला था कि our OBE model is a SMART model. And for the SMART model, there should be a target. You attain हो सकता है नहीं हो सकता. So now the attainment of POs we are talking about. If their PSOs are already exist, then if any revision is required, then again this committee will play the role in consultation with the program advisory committee. Consider the recommendation of the for the achievements of PEOs and POs given by the program advisory committee, and to submit the report to the IQAC on the evaluation of the attainment of the PEOs. So till now the role of the department is finished. Departments ने PSO define किए, POs are already defined. If the POs are not defined, then again this departmental advisory committee will define the POs. This committee will define the attainment levels. This committee will take the responsibility if any type of changes are required in the PSOs. These PSO levels work, so POs level work are done by the departmental advisory committee. Their attainment levels are also fixed by this committee. And departmental advisory committee will do, they will talk about the COs, CO attainments. Then the lower program coordinator, then program assessment committee, then program coordinator, module coordinator, and then our course coordinator. So we have divided the work between the different committees. Now it seems to achieve a OBE model becomes little bit easy. Not very much easy, but now at least there is a responsible person who will do these tasks. Everybody knows कि POs कौन करेगा, PSO कौन करेगा, CO कौन करेगा, attainment levels कौन define करेगा, उनकी assessment कौन करेगा. Now the different committees are configured. So, any doubt till now? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
No doubt, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay, thank you. So now we come at the institute level. Department ने अपना काम कर दिया. Department ने अपनी recommendations about the PEOs and POs, IQAC, internal quality assurance cell को send कर दी. Now this is institute level committee, institute level cell. And if we talk about the hierarchy of this cell, this should be at the topmost level in the organization, because this cell is responsible for the continuous improvement, and the continuous improvement is the key of the outcome-based education model. And its composition and roles, responsibility, all the things are defined, predefined by the NAAC. If I talk about the composition from the director, senior faculty members, industrialists, member from the trustee of the institutes, students, alumni, and senior educationist persons, all members will be the member of this IQAC. So I will not go in detail with the composition, roles, responsibilities, because these are already fixed, and these are fixed by the NAAC, and there is no need to change anything. And there is a link. It is a link from where you can find the roles, responsibility, and the composition of IQAC. So, any doubt in this organization structure for the OBE model, basically departmental organization structure. If I leave this IQAC, then this is a departmental organization structure, how a department will work if they want to move towards the OBE model. Is it clear to all of you? If anybody have any question, they can ask, they can send a question in the chat box, or they can unmute yourself. Okay, so let's move.
Yes, sir.
So now we are talking about the attainments. जहां से हमने PPT start की थी. So at the lowest level, these are course outcome attainments. Then PO PSO attainments. Then PO attainments and the mission attainments. So what we will do, first of all, we'll find the course outcome attainments. With the help of course outcome attainments, we will find the PO and PSO attainments. And then we will find the PEO attainments. And then finally, we will find the mission attainment. And truly speaking, if you attend many NBA or OB model related these faculty development programs, these attainment levels are either skipped or they covered it in 5 or 10 minutes. So one of the reason is the lots of calculations are required. These are the educational oriented model. One education can opt for one model, another cannot opt for the another model. But this is the really important because it is the key of the OB. With the help of this only, you can say whether we are success in our mission or not. So, first part we are starting the course attainments. So, course attainment, in the course we have used the assessment methods, theory examinations, practical examinations, seminars, projects, internship, and any other assessment method which is similar to either of these. So what we will do, we will try to establish the criteria with the help of which we can find the attainment levels of the theory-like subjects, practical-like subjects, seminars, projects, and internships. And who will do it? Individual faculty member will do for their faculty member, for their subjects. And in the consultation with the course coordinator. And if the course coordinator needs any help, he or she can seek the help from the module coordinator. Okay? So this work will be the individual faculty members with the consultation with the course coordinator. Okay? So I'm talking about the theory courses. As I earlier told you, don't go by these weightages. I am talking about, if I talk about IKJ Punjab Technical University and my organization Gulzar Group of Institutes, these weightages can fit directly. But if we talk about some other university where the weightage of the internal and external in the theory examinations are different, these weightages will be different. So, if we talk about theory courses, in theory courses there are two types of examinations. One is the university examinations, another is the internal examination. So when we talk about the CO attainments of theory courses, we take consideration the both university examination as well as internal examination. I give the weightage to 60% to the university examination and 40% to the internal examination. In some cases, in some other university, it can be 80-20. It can be 70-30. It can be 90-10. But there must be a component of university examination and there must be one component of internal examination. So, now we are talking about outcome-based model. And in the first lecture, our resource person tell us the difference between the outcome and output-based system. In output-based system, we talk about मेरी क्लास का 60% बच्चे पास हो गए, 60% स्टूडेंट ऑफ पाई क्लास इज पास्ड. वहां पर क्वांटिटी आ गई, वी हैव नॉट कंसीडर द क्वालिटी. Because we are talking about the outcome-based education model, we'll talk about the quantity as well as quality. So I will give level 1, the lowest level, if 50% of the students score more than 50% marks. Level 2, if the 60% of the student scores more than 50% marks. And 70% of the student score more than 50% marks. Now, if we talk about any autonomous college, then this percentage can be raised, like 50% students scoring more than 50% marks, 60% of the students scoring more than 60% marks, 70% of the students scoring more than 70% marks. But if there is an organization who just started the OBE model, then for that particular college, this is a good criteria to start with. To start with, it is a good criteria. Then if we talk about the internal examination, in internal examination, we have these 4 assessment tools: mid-semester test, assignments, quizzes, and attendance. I give 60% weightage to the mid-semester, 50% weightage to the assessment, assignments, 10% weightage to the quiz, and 15% weightage to attendance. Again, whether to include attendance in this assessment tool is a topic of debate. At some places, the attendance is considered as assessment tool, and at few places, attendance is not considered. But in my view, in a private organization of the age of about 15 to 17 years, attendance should be a criteria, because in the today's life, attendance become an issue. And if the students start attending the classes, then the results also eventually improve. And on the right hand side, again the level 1, 2, 3 are defined, but you can see here, I have taken the MSc level at the 50% marks. But for the assignment and quizzes, I take the 60%. Why so? Because these 2 assessment tools belongs to the continuous improvement tools. Because if you want the improvement in your assignment, mid-semester results, if you want improvement in the final university examination, these 2 tools can play a very important role. So I am giving here the more weightage, and to the attendance I am given even more weightage than the quizzes and assignment, because the fundamental rule, if a student is present in the class, then only he can participate in a quiz, then only he can participate in assignment or in the mid-semester tests. So again, these are just the levels given by me. An organization can vary, can change these as per their status. Even these weightages can also be changed. And with the help of this simple formula, it looks very complex, but it's just simple. We are taking the 60% of the university examination, 0.6 represents the 60% of the university examination, 0.4 means 40% of the internal examination, and in the internal examination, 60% of the MSTs, 50% of the assignments, 10% of the queries, and 50% of the attendance. This will give you the CO assessment of the course. Now, look at this table. I divided this table with the help of the colors. The first, the basic details of the student. Second is the university examination. Third is the MST. I am considering we are taking the 2 MSTs, so I will take the average of 2 MSTs. Again, I am considering in a semester we are taking 2 assignments. It can be 3, it can be 4. Depending from organization to organization, department to department, we can increase the number of assignments. I am initially considering 2 and taking the average of 2. Then again, I am considering we are taking the 2 quiz. Ideally, it should be at least 1 quiz within a 15 days. And at least 1 assignment within a 30 days. Then attendance. And then we'll find the course attainment level. And it seems very, very difficult to do all these calculations. Some of my friends says कि इस clerical work में फंस जाएंगे तो बच्चों को पढ़ाएंगे कैसे? So again, Excel or Google Sheets can make our life easy. I am showing you an example. So let me increase the size of it. I hope it is visible. It is readable. Is it readable?
It is.
Yes.
Readable, sir.
Okay. So once this sheet is designed by, let's suppose it's designed by program coordinator or module coordinator or any one person from the department, then all the faculty members can use this sheet. What to do? Just to write the course code, course type, and the total number of students in that class. Then just you have to write the number of students whose marks are more than 50%. Let's suppose I write 78. Let me blank it. Now, let's suppose I write 78. So rest of the two values are generated itself. The percentage student as well as the attainment level. So the formulas are already applied here. Then similarly for the MSTs, let's suppose I am deleting this percentage part. This part ये भी delete कर दिया मैंने. MST1, MST2 दोनों के मैंने delete कर दिए. कितने कितने बच्चे 50% से ऊपर थे. आगे यहाँ पे देखिए आप, it becomes 0. Now you look at 0, 0, 0. You have to just put, let's suppose 56 student ने MST1 में और 76 students MST2 में 50% से ज्यादा marks लिए. All the levels, all the cells are filled automatically. So these Excel sheets or your Google Sheets can make the life easy. One person can apply all the formulas and the faculty have to just fill the values, how many students are getting more than 50% marks or 60% marks, whatsoever is the criteria. So is it easy now? So starting में बहुत complex दिख रहा था. Now अब इसे करने में बहुत टाइम तो नहीं लगेगा.
No, sir, it's perfectly placed.
Now it's perfectly placed. Now it will not take more than 10 minutes for a faculty member or maximum 15 minutes for a faculty member. He have to just count the number of students greater than 50%, 60%, whatsoever is the criteria, and the attainment levels will be obtained. Okay. So now we have discussed about only 3 subjects. Now let's move to the practical course. Now the figures are changed and reversed. University examination get only 40% weightage and the internal examination get 60% weightage. Now the figures are reversed. Criteria for the university examination is same. The internal examination, again you can see I have raised the bar 60%, 60%, 60%, 70%. Practical performance has the most weightage, that is 40%. Record maintenance 20% only. Viva was 20% and attendance 15%. And with the help of this level and this formula again 40, 60 and then again the weightage, you can find this matrix. Again the same Google Sheet can solve the purpose. There will be 3 sheets. One for the practical, one for the theory-like subject, one for the practical-like subject, one for the internship-like subject, one for the project-like subject, and this thing will be covered. This is important, and this part is missing in almost every presentation which is available on the web, even on the videos also. If we have a course which is of project type, then how we can find the attainment levels? In the university part. So we cannot do more in the university part being an affiliating college. So again, the criteria is same: 50% student getting more than 50% marks, 60% of the student getting more than 50% marks, 70% of student getting more than 50% marks. But when we talk about the internal assessment, this is proposed by me. It maybe suited as it is to one organization or one department, and some another department may need a change in this criteria. The first assessment tool is the first project review. हमने बच्चों को एक प्रोजेक्ट करने के लिए दे दिया, then there will be the first project review in which we will focus on the literature survey done by the student and the problem identification. It's not like this, should not be like this कि बच्चे दोनों उस टॉपिक पे प्रोजेक्ट करना है, उसको छोड़ दिया, खुला छोड़ दिया उसको. Not like this. There will be rubrics for this criteria, the first project review, and there will be a committee of 3 or 4 persons or department, and the student have to give a presentation on the major points literature survey and the problem identification in the front of that committee, and on the basis of the rubrics, that committee will give the grade to that student. Then the second is the project review. कि बच्चे ने लिटरेचर सर्वे कर लिया, प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफिकेशन कर लिया, अब हम लास्ट तक नहीं हम वेट करेंगे जब बच्चा प्रोजेक्ट लेके फाइनल प्रोजेक्ट लेके मेरे पास आ जाएगा. वी विल डू ए मिड प्रोजेक्ट वाइवा या मिड प्रोजेक्ट सेमिनार और ए प्रेजेंटेशन इन व्हिच वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट द डिजाइन मेथोडोलॉजी ऑफ द स्टूडेंट एंड द शेड्यूलिंग. वी विल सी कि वेदर द स्टूडेंट का जो मॉडल है वो फिजिबल मॉडल भी है या नहीं है. क्या बच्चे ने एक टाइमलाइन डिफाइन की है कि ऑन विच टाइमलाइन the student will complete his model. तो उसके लिए एक सेकंड होगी, and there again will be a committee of 3 to 4 person. Yes, there will be the supervisor of the student will be the part of that committee, and on the basis of a rubric, the assessment will be done. Then there will be the final validation, the validation of the model and the documentation. Again, a committee will do on the basis of a rubrics. And the weightages are 30, 30 and 40. And the grading systems are 50% students obtaining grade greater than A. So any comment, any suggestion on this particular model? Any viewpoint? Yes, anybody? Oh, my friends from the mechanical, civil, CSC, electronics background or management persons. There are only 2-3 persons who are participating in this talk only. Yes, please. Anybody of you? Otherwise, I will do which I do with my students. I will take an opportunity to name a person.
Sir, I've already unmuted my mic, sir.
Okay, Dr. Vishali. Please, बताइए.
Sir, I guess, I mean, the weightages which are defined here,
Yes.
I think they well suit the levels as well as, you know, it's very thoughtfully maintained out here when it comes to the quant side also and the quali side also.
Oh, thank you.
So
Any,
it's beautifully done.
thank you. Any of my friend from the south? Because the beauty of this FDP is the diversity in the terms of the participation. We have many participation from the south. Yes, anybody? Otherwise, I have to move on. So let's move on. So again, this simple formula, we need to discuss this formula, and on the basis of this formula, this table of matrix can be obtained. Then again, internship. This is again a very important part in our technical education. But how to assess these internship courses? University part I am skipping. Internal assessment. This is important. Again, I make a 3 level. Rigid oblique midterm viva. In our college, there is an exercise कि हमारी faculty जाती है industry में and they will talk with the student, they will talk with the supervisor of the student, how our student is doing. Again, the basis of the rubrics, the student attendance, performance, the feedback of the supervisor, and the daily diary or faculty member will just assess the student. Then, on the completion, industry supervisors ki feedback. On the completion, not from our side, from the industry supervisor side, what they feel. Now, we can give the criteria to them, like the behavior observation. Behavioral is a one point in our POs, which can be covered here also. Performance, project report, teamwork. On these parameters, the industry supervisor can assess our student. And then the final internal viva. Then attendance, project report, seminar. And in this case, I am giving equal weightage to the supervisor, industry supervisor, as well as to the internal viva. So again, this may vary. For me, it seems for some other organization, there may be some changes required, but at least we should have a criteria on which we will assess the student. Again, the weightages, and with the help of this, we can obtain this matrix. So one question from the audience, ये जो levels हैं, जो मैं levels find कर रहा हूँ 1, 2, 3 और वहाँ 50%, 60%, 70% कर रहा हूँ, who will do? Course coordinator will do, module coordinator will do, program coordinator will do, program assessment committee will do. Who will do this? There is one question, just a minute. What is this IR1?
Yes, sir.
In this IR1 is first criteria, visit and midterm, 20% weightage. IR2.
So what does IR stands for?
Madam, I just give the name to this first criteria IR.
All right, sir.
You can take any name. No problem.
Done.
Yes, who will fix these criteria? Who will fix these levels? Anybody of you?
Assessment
So is it
committee.
internship coordinator?
Yes, Bansalji, who?
Is it internship coordinator?
No, हमने तो इंटर्नशिप कोऑर्डिनेटर को डिफाइन नहीं किया, हमने तो सर कोर्स कोऑर्डिनेटर, मॉड्यूल कोऑर्डिनेटर, प्रोग्राम कोऑर्डिनेटर, प्रोग्राम असेसमेंट कमेटी,
Assessment committee.
यस मैम,
Assessment committee members.
प्रोग्राम असेसमेंट कमेटी.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, again module coordinator.
Sir, the decision will be taken in the committee. The module coordinator will give the feedback.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Right,
So
right,
module
right.
coordinator will give the feedback, and the program advisory committee will fix these levels, because the attainment level will be fixed by the program advisory committee. So वो
can
program
you please
coordinator
shift
will
to-
feedback लेंगे और सबके लेंगे. Yes, Ashish Arora sir.
Sir जी, can you please shift to that slide जिसमें से आप क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे थे कि what things will be done by course coordinator or module coordinator?
Sir, that is this. These levels. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So answer it, program assessment committee, program
sir.
advisory committee or program advisory committee, जो in coordination with the module coordinator and program coordinator.
जी sir, done.
Once all faculty members calculate the attainment levels of their individual courses, the course coordinator, module coordinator will compile the same for all the courses. Okay, and
Yes sir.
program coordinators will compile COP mappings. The program assessment committee will calculate the attainment levels. How the things will do happen? सबसे टॉप पे करें हमारा course outcomes and CO measurement through assessment. This part we have already done. Course outcomes are we have defined. CO measurement through assessments we have done. We have just fixed the criteria. We find the course assessment, course outcome assessments. CO mapping with POs, Dr. Ankit Bansal already covered in the last lecture. Average CO attainment table I will discuss today. CO attainment table I will discuss. So till now, what will happen? Our program coordinator, with the help of the module coordinator, will make this matrix. in which there on the one side there will be all the subjects, on the other side there will be all the attainment levels. First semester subject in one sequence, then second, third, and at the place of subject name we can take the subject code also. No problems. And this is the COPO matrix. And this matrix is already explained by Dr. Ankit Bansal. If anybody have any doubt in it, they can raise hand or they can ask the question. Otherwise, I'll just skip it. Any question? Is it clear?
Clear, sir?
Yes, ma'am?
It's perfectly clear.
Perfectly. Okay. So one thing I want to tell you here, if you see the average COs, 3, 1, 2, it is 6 and average comes to be 2. तो जितनी मैपिंग है उतने के ही हमें क्या निकालना है, एवरेजेस निकालने हैं. हम जीरोस को काउंट नहीं करेंगे, मैप ही नहीं हुए तो हम उनकी एवरेजेस भी काउंट नहीं करेंगे डिनोमिनेटर में. तो जितनी फिगर्स आ रही हैं उतनी ही हमें मैप करनी है. एंड सेकेंड थिंग यू कैन लुक, यहाँ बहुत सारे पीओस मिस हैं. पीओएसओस मैंने ऑलमोस्ट सारे ही फिल किए हैं, जरूरी नहीं सारे फिल हो, बट हमारे किसी ना किसी कोर्स आउटकम के साथ कोई ना कोई पीएसओ मैप करना चाहिए, बिकॉज दिस पीएसओस आर द डिपार्टमेंट ओरिएंटेड. डिपार्टमेंटल लीड है, डिपार्टमेंट ने डिफाइन किए हैं, तो डिपार्टमेंटल सब्जेक्ट्स इन सीओस में, यानी इन 5 सीओस में से कम एक सीओ हो या 2 सीओस हो जो तीन पीएसओस में से एक पीएसओ के साथ मैप करते हैं, तभी इन पीएसओ का सिग्निफिकेंस है. अदरवाइज इन पीएसओ का सिग्निफिकेंस बनेगा ही नहीं, बिकॉज दी आर द प्रोग्राम स्पेसिफिक आउटकम्स. एंड इफ इट इज ए प्रोग्राम स्पेसिफिक आउटकम्स, देन हमारी जो कोर्स आउटकम्स है, जो हमारे कोर्स है, वो उनके साथ अप टू सम एक्सटेंट मैप करने चाहिए. एंड इट्स एब्सोल्युटली फाइन कि कुछ पीओस बिल्कुल भी मैप ना करें. जैसे आप पीओस देखते हैं 0 पर मैप कर रहे हैं, और कुछ पीओस बहुत ही लो मैप कर रहे हैं. नो वरीज, बट पीएसओस में कुछ ना कुछ लेवल आना चाहिए. एंड दीज ऑल द डमी फिगर्स, ये मैं जितने फिगर्स की बात कर रहा हूं, दीज ऑल आर डमी फिगर्स. इसमें कुछ भी रिलायबिलिटी नहीं है, किस सब्जेक्ट के नहीं है, दे आर जस्ट डमी फिगर्स. तो द नेक्स्ट वर्क विल बी, जैसे हमने ये मैट्रिक्स बनाई है सब्जेक्ट अटेनमेंट मैट्रिक्स, सिमिलरली वी विल मैप एक सीओ एवरेज मैट्रिक्स विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द पीओस. हम क्या करेंगे, हम ये रो लेंगे, इस रो के साथ एक मैट्रिक्स बनाएंगे फॉर एवरी सब्जेक्ट. दिस इज द मैट्रिक्स. एंड मैंने जानकर सीक्वेंस ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट्स यू कैन सी इन द बोथ मैट्रिसेस आर सेम, so that we can apply the formulas in the Excel or Google Sheet to calculate the program outcomes. So I think to make this matrix is not a big job. बन जाएगी आराम से. अब यहां पर इस मैट्रिक्स में कुछ चीजें देखने वाली हैं which is very very important. This last column. Now this matrix contains all the subjects of the program. And if we have any show whose level, whose average is very low, like you can see 0.8, 1.1, even 1.3, it means our curriculum is not sufficient to obtain the attainment levels of the POs. There are some gaps which should be identified to attain the POs levels. Generally, these are the dummy values. If we take the actual values, you will find these average values will come around about 2, between 2 and 3, and very few POs will find which are from 1.5 to 2. And if there is a PO whose values are even less than 2, then for that PO, we have to introduce the content beyond syllabus to increase the correlation level of that PO. And this topic will be covered in the tomorrow talk given by Dr. Ishbir Singh. So, till now, what we have done, we find the assessment of all the courses. We have made one matrix. We find the correlation of the COs with POs, one matrix. Now we are talking about the PO attainments. So for the PO attainments, we use the two methods. One is named as direct assessment method. Another is named as indirect assessment method. Because till now what we have covered the assessment through the courses. We have not covered the feedbacks from the students, alumni, industries, parents. Okay, so these all parts will be covered in the indirect assessment. So first we'll talk about the direct assessment. So the direct assessment method, whose weightage is 80%, the knowledge and skills learned by the student are assessed directly from the performance to the internal assessment and the external assessment processes. And how we'll find, what we will do, we will multiply the attainment of the subject N by the average mapping of the subject N with POI and divide it with the highest level. Highest level will be the 3. So let me explain you. Just a minute. Yes. So there is one matrix which is named as subject attainment, then subject's PO matrix. Now what we will do? Subject 1, attainment level 2.1. We will multiply this 2.1 with 1.2 and divide it by 3 because 3 is our highest level. So we are finding here the relative values with respect to 3. And with the help of formulas, if these two matrices are covered, are filled, then this matrix can be obtained directly. I can show you. I am just deleting this matrix, and you will see. I just dragging the formula. Just horizontal drag हो गया, and then vertical drag. All the formula is filled. All the cells are filled itself. And for the averages, there is another formula. You have to just drag it. So again, there is no clerical work involved. You have to just make one subject attainment matrix, one subject PO matrix, and this matrix will be calculated automatically. PO attainment direct, not indirect. It is a direct attainment levels. So is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So हमने direct निकाल ली with the help of a Google Sheet. We have find the direct assessment. Now we talk about the indirect assessment. So the indirect assessment, whose weightage is 20%, this includes the feedback from all the stakeholders, such as student feedback, exit surveys, alumni feedbacks, parent feedbacks, employer feedbacks, performance in the extracurricular activities. You can take any of these to find the indirect assessment. I am proposing to take the 3: graduate exit survey, alumni survey, and the employee survey. In these 3 surveys, if these surveys are designed in appropriate ways, all the questions can be covered in these 3 surveys. Now, how to find the assessment of these 3 surveys? The procedure is again same. First, you have to define the survey. Second, you have to map the questions of the surveys with POs and POs. So जैसे वहां पे हमने मैप किया था, किसको मैप किया था? वहां पे हमने सब्जेक्ट्स को मैप किया था. Now we will map the questions. Then you have to tabulate the result. Then with the help of this mapping and the tabulation of the survey result, we can find the final PO and PSO attainment levels. The procedures and the matrices will remain same. You can just copy the matrices. You have to make the one matrix for the results. You have to make the one matrix for the PO mapping, CO portion mappings with respect to PO PSOs, and the final matrix with the multiplication of these two matrices divided by 3. So once we obtain direct assessment, indirect assessment, we can take the 80% of it and 20% of it, combining these two will give us the attainment level. So what do you think? Our job is done here? हमने अटेनमेंट लेवल फाइंड कर लिया, क्या हमारा काम कंप्लीट हो गया? अच्छा, चलो उस क्वेश्चन को छोड़ते हैं. Any question till now? Now the attainment part, how to calculate the attainment part is completed till now. Any question till now?
No, sir.
Okay. So I'm start taking the names. Dr. Sarabjit, any question?
No, sir, everything is clear.
Okay, thank you, sir. Professor Manudeep, sir. Okay, no problems. Parul, madam. Ashish Urada, sir.
Sir, no problem. All clear, sir.
Now, this is another way, another
Still
method.
awake.
This is another, yes, Lakwinder Singh, sir. Can we consider the industrial visits to achieve the attainment levels? Yes, sure, Lakwinder, sir, we can take, but we can cover it in the indirect assessment also as well in the direct assessment also. We can take. Make it right. Surely we can consider. So, I was talking, this is another way to involve the students in the online classes. You can take the name of students and ask them a question so that they remain attentive in their class, in your class. And at the same time, आपको पता चलेगा कौन सुन रहा है कौन नहीं सुन रहा. Dr. Vishali, yes, we can consider the industrial visit. If it is a part of the curriculum, then it will come under the direct assessment. Otherwise, you can take in the indirect assessment. Okay.
Right, sir. Lakwinder Singh says question.
Okay. It's yours. ठीक है, it's okay. So my next question was, we have calculated the attainment levels. So our job is not finished here. Now the departmental advisory committee will see whether these attainment levels meet the target values or not. So let's suppose these are the attainment level we attained, and these are target values. Again, all dummy values. Then there are certain POs like PO4, PO6, PO7, PO12, POSOs, in which we have not achieved the target values. So again, here the role of departmental advisory committee will come, and the departmental advisory committee will give the suggestions for the remedial measures in our teaching learning methodologies, teaching learning experiences, so that these POs can be attained. They will try to diagnose the problem. They will try to find the problem, and then they will try to, for the next session, they will try to attain these values. And now let's suppose all the target values are achieved. Then what we can do for the next batch, we can increase, we can raise our target values. Continuous improvement. If the levels are not achieved, then we have to think where we can improve. If the levels are achieved, then we can raise our bar so that the continuous improvement process goes on. So this is the basically outcome-based model in which assessment, analyze, and continuous improvement, continuous quality improvement is a key rules, because the course outcomes, program educational outcomes, vision missions, they are already defined in the maximum cases. Being a teacher, being a mentor, our role is the delivery, assessment, analysis, evaluation, and the continuous quality improvement. In simple words, if I want to summarize, say what you want, fix your outcomes, do what you say, do all the things what are required to achieve that course outcomes. So teaching learning processes, prove it, your attainment levels, improve it, and this cycle will continuous goes on. This is the beauty of the outcome-based education model. There is a need of change of attitude. We should shift ourselves from grading to assessment, scoring right or wrong to considering the whole reasoning process. If we are not achieving our attainment levels, we have to think where we can improve our system. Comparison of students to comparison of the measurable outcomes, exclusive to public and open, challenging faculty to helping students, and at the place of add-ons to embedded system. Our outcome-based education model is not an add-on. It should be embedded in our system so that a continuous improvement system can be made in the institute. Finally, it's not what we teach, it's what you learn. Or these words are so powerful. If we believe in these words, a teacher, a mentor can achieve anything, and the student will get the success. Thanks all. Thank you very much.